You're on YouTube as well.
I am, but it's a little embarrassing.
Where can all 54 of my subscribers find your stuff? You've got Mold, don't you? Where you do the movie reviews and I think you do
actually,
as well.
Yeah, so like I've got my own channel, which is going to be the Brett Magill show, which I'm trying to do now.
I'm going to do this for the first time. It's going to be somewhere over here.
Yeah. Where is it over there? If you look at the screen, I think it's going to be like over there. And it's the Brett Magill show, and then Mold Movies, where we do movie reviews and everything like that. But like the biggest thing is rather to go to mold.co.za is where all our content lies and everything. But I'm on every social network known to man.
And I think Brett has been vlogging this as well, so when the vlog is ready somewhere.
Let's hope it happens.
And if it doesn't, it doesn't.
If it doesn't, it doesn't, but I hope it does, and I'm kind of now committing to it. So even if it's shit, I might just post it anyway. I hope it's not shit.
I think we should force Brett to do this. Brett does not have a choice.
Okay, fine.
You started it, so
I
you
did.
have
I
to
started
execute it.
I can't, yeah. You see? That's a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. I hate doing things half-heartedly. You know, go all into it, man. So, okay, fine. I'll publish a vlog.
Cool. So, I drove all the way from the dirty west to the dirty south to meet up with Brett, Brett, what do you do?
Well, Sean, at the end of the day, I've struggled with this kind of explanation too, because it's not just like, oh, I'm this. I envy my father a little bit. It was very easy to say what back then in his time was, oh, I'm an architect, I'm a drawing office manager, and people got you, right? It was quite simple. Nowadays, because of the creativity aspect of so much that we do, saying you're an entrepreneur, it's fine, but it's also too fashionable these days.
Yeah.
Guys say that they're entrepreneurs and they have no freaking clue. And it's the same thing, some guys call themselves creatives, but they're really not, and it's kind of frustrating. So rather just call me an entrepreneur, because that is in essence what I am. I'm not trying to say that. And I run a few businesses in the tech and the creative space and media.
Like the previous generation, you were a plumber and you were this and you were that. But these days you can't just be a plumber. You have to be a plumber and a tech guru or a I don't know. Imagine that, fixing pipes one day and then next.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you've watched that video, multi-potentialite.
No.
It's very interesting. The whole explanation is that exactly that example. I'm a plumber, but I'm also a creative because I make YouTube videos about gaming, hypothetically.
Yeah.
Okay. Or there was this person that speaks about that does political commentary, but at the same time is a wakeboarder. For example.
Yeah.
And that's their two passions, and they're able to unite those two passions into one cohesive either creative or business entity and what have you. And that we're starting to see a lot more and more of these days, because people have found that they're allowed to. I mean, my mom, for example, is a good example of somebody that wanted to do a lot of things, and maybe that's half my problem is because she taught me the same. But she wanted to do and have a lot of things in life. She wanted to be both a nurse, but she also loved animals, and she also loved being creative. But also she's got a massive business mind. So growing up in a time where you couldn't be nothing except a secretary, because that's what you had to be as a woman from her generation. Now she's older, she's able to do a lot more of those things because it's more acceptable. I mean, even then, if I said to you, yeah, Sean, I run a social media agency and I run a blog about craft beer, it's weird at first glance,
yes.
But it kind of makes sense if you put it down on paper. If I also said to you, no, I have this idea to start selling sneakers one day, I'm not going to do it now because I don't have time, but hypothetically, it's not so weird now when you can join those two, if you can possibly join those two. But I think it comes more down to you being able to show results.
Yes.
It's very fun to say, oh, I have a social media agency, and then in the next breath I have a craft beer blog, hypothetically. But if I say to you, they're both failing and I'm very poor and I have no money to put food on my plate, no one cares. If I say to you, the agency is doing well and very successful, we're selling ads on Joe Brew's blog, and that's being very successful now. Now suddenly it becomes a viable thing, rather than before it was just some random idea. Ideas are shit. You have to be able to execute on those ideas for them to mean anything.
Yeah. That's actually why I'm here with Brett today, is because I found this guy on the internet, like if you said that.
Twitter.
5 years ago, it sounded a lot dodgier.
Yeah, I found this guy on the internet. It was quite charming and he had a beautiful beard.
But that's the thing, is that, like you said, ideas are shit, but it's all about the execution, and that's what I saw in you through Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and blah blah blah. Is that you actually do shit. You come up with an idea and you do it.
Well, that's part of the problem as well, because we have a board here on the wall for that. We have this idea, and I'm not shy to say this because we're both a tech, a media, and a craft beer company all in one. It's a case of saying, all right, some of our most creative moments happened over a few beers, and that has happened more time than not, and fair enough. But half that problem, half being that creative, half about getting all those ideas in one place is that when you're sitting there and like, guys, we should have an e-commerce business based around selling all-stars and Vans and whatever the case may be, and we can call it Sneaker Kick or Dark Slide because we want to start selling skateboard decks, but like artistically created skateboard decks and everything like that. And everyone gets excited and they're going to be in their bond and they're, we've got to execute, let's do it. And then you sit there and like, we only have 24 hours in the day. And we're currently sitting 19 hours in a day working on this business. We have no time to execute on that properly. And that's part of the problem, is that we have these great ideas, but no one executes on it.
I forgot to clean out my SD card, so we had to
take a 5-minute break.
I had to take a 10-minute break, actually.
Was it 10 minutes?
Yeah, it was something like that. So the idea is to talk about all these ideas which can become addictive. And then you come up with all these cool ideas, but there's zero fucking execution on it. So.
Or if there is execution, then once you have executed and you've got, great example, you'll have, and I am generalizing a hell of a lot, but you will have an instance where someone will be born with a silver spoon. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Their dad and mom, very wealthy, brought up in a very wealthy life. And when they start their business, it's very easy to ask dad for $1 million to start your business. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's a whole different, and then when they start their business and they actually have to work in it, and they hate their life, or they hate their business, or they can't do it, and then they go and find a job, so it doesn't matter. Executing, fine. Then the next level after that is like putting in the work. That's what I was saying to you.
Yeah.
But off air, we were talking about further than that. There's a guy I know, and he's, I think, how old is he now? He's about 28 years old. He has a degree in psychology, not psychology, a degree in economics and a degree in advanced mathematics. Okay? And you'd think, well, this is perfect. You can go and study being an economist or maybe stocks, I don't know, something interesting. And not that he doesn't want to do that, but so he said, first thing I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I want to be a tattoo artist. Okay? Which is so cool. That's great. I want you to be a tattoo artist. I love tattoo artists. I wish I could have been a tattoo artist. Maybe I still will. But you see, ideas. But the problem is that now he's whining to me about the fact that he has no money because he's an apprentice and he has rent to pay and he has a car to pay and he's trying to get insurance and all that. And fair enough. Okay, I would like to be an artist. I would like to just sketch all day and let that be my thing. I'd love to just sit and do my YouTube show consistently every single day. And maybe I will get to that point one day. But the whole point of this business, the whole point of why we're doing it the way we're doing it, is because you need to have an engine. Okay? If I had 5 minutes, and maybe we'll do it one day, if I had 5 minutes to draw you up my plan for the next 10 years, and I did do this, the next 10 years for me are vital. For the next 5 years, it's about building this engine.
Yeah.
5 years after that, we're building the bigger engine. And when I say by engine, I mean the thing that is going to build up the capital, the thing that is going to let you do whatever else you would like to do. I'm not an idiot. I know that you've got to have money to do anything that you want to do in this world. Okay? And some guys are able to stay the course and be consistent and bear through it, and I admire those guys greatly, and they can do it. But guys that have ambition that are further than that, guys that want to, I don't know, have a private island, whatever, you need to think about playing the longer game and being able to build your engine. Third Planet is that engine for that eventual sneaker and skateboard deck company. That will fund the next idea. Those ideas will fund the next idea.
Okay.
But you got to put in the idea, the execution, and the hard work, and make that engine work before you can do all the other fun things. Being a tattoo artist, I would love to be a tattoo artist. I think it'd be awesome. I mean, it's something I've always admired. Okay, and I love tattoos. I'm still going to get more, but I still want to be a tattoo artist. But being an apprentice, I know is a struggle. It's hard work. And financially, it's tough. And especially if you're new in the industry, you got to build up your name for the next 5 or so years, right?
Yeah.
So it makes no sense for me to now stop what I'm doing and go, especially at this age, I've got responsibilities, I've got bills to pay, I've got to put food on the plate. You can't just now go and do something like that. You've got to have your game plan set out. Build your engine. From the engine, fund yourself to do that next ambition. Fund that global travel trip that you've been trying to do for the last 10 years. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Okay, you've got to build that engine. You've got to not just execute, you've got to put in the work and make it so you can do whatever you want to do for the rest of your life. And we're talking about, there was an example I used. I can't remember, but a good guy to watch that touts this a lot. And this is not new ideas. What I'm saying is not new. A lot of what I'm saying you can find from Gary Vaynerchuk, for example. Gary Vaynerchuk's a great YouTube and just personality and business owner to learn a lot of these ideas that I'm touting. And I have learned a lot from him. Alright? What I'm saying is not unique to me. Alright? I'm just able to articulate it in what I do every single day. I'm able to execute on that shit to do more than just sit down and I run a few social media communities. No. Fuck that. Okay? What more? Alright? The fact that we are sitting in the south of Joburg in Alberton, an area known for its migratory population. People don't work in Alberton, they migrate to the north, they migrate to the west, that's where they work in Sandton, they work in Bryanston, okay? L Road down the street is known for its industry, for its building of products, building of things, it's trucks, it's grit, and that's Alberton originally, okay? So when I'm sitting here and saying I have the balls to start a communications and social media agency in the south of Joburg and Alberton, I'm doing it because that's the bigger picture. If I can say in 10 years that we're able to contribute a portion of our profits to a local community, to the local charity, to start investing in local events, to bring people together in where we live, if I can say to you in 10 years we now employ 300 people and then most of them are from Alberton and we're based in Alberton, now I'm using Alberton as an example, but that is an achievement. That is the bigger picture. That is the bigger game. And that's just 10 years. I had musings of the next 20 years, but I thought, no, rather focus on 10. Remember I told you about focusing? Sit down and focus, pick a fucking idea and go for it, right? Right. So like a lot of those ideas that I just said now, like bringing the community together, we have a list of ideas we want to do with Alberton. But we've got to build this engine first. It's one thing to be able to call the Alberton Record and be like, listen guy, we want to put on an event like Park Acoustics here in Alberton and get 3,000 people together around local music and get everyone involved. Great. So Brett, how's your business doing? I don't know, I've been focusing on this event. That's wrong! Alright, if I'm focusing on this community event, and great, community, but at the same time, if I come back in 3 months and my business has failed, there will never again be another event like that because I can't fund it. Fund it. Okay, both emotionally and financially. So you've got to build the engine, have your idea, execute on that idea, put work behind it, build your engine, and then do the next thing that you want to do. Have that grander vision. Recognize that you're a man, not very politically correct, a person on earth. Recognize where you are now.
Yes.
Recognize that you are an entity, that you are capable of things, that you are not in school, that you're not a sheep, okay? That you are fully capable of everything that you'd like to do.
Yes.
When you have that self-realization, when you've reached that level, suddenly things like, I don't know, drinking on a Friday and getting a traffic fine, hypothetically, which you should not drink and drive.
Yeah, because you drive into Mustangs. I did that the other day.
But seriously, like trivial things, you suddenly realize that they're more, hypothetically, a friend of mine wants to go on a photography course. Okay, he's been doing photography now for the last 8 years and has some of the best photography I've ever seen in my life. But now he wants to go on a course. Friends that have come from that course have told me that everything that they learned in there is things that you could learn just by doing. And we know that in the age of the internet, if you don't have money to go on a photography course, a coding course, there are millions of courses online that you can do for free. If anything, when I started Primark Communications out of college, okay, that was the name, it was going to be social media and everything like that. Back when Instagram was first launched, I think Instagram was around for a year, okay? And a colleague of mine said, no, Instagram is a stupid platform. Okay, if I said to you Instagram's a waste of time now, it'd be hilarious. Okay, back then I already recognized that Instagram was going to be a thing. I was already inputting an agency at that stage. If you were going to be in social media, that was ridiculous because agencies didn't do that. Social media was a fad. Okay, if you were a bigger agency, social media would be a nice to have add-on. and they would charge pennies for that little add-on. Okay, I know because I work with agencies that did it. But if I came to you and I said, no, we're a social media agency, back then, it would be outrageous, especially in South Africa. Okay, we had American agencies only just exploring. Okay, we had, I think at that stage, one South African agency that was actually doing social media in the way it was sort of done now. Not everyone and their auntie does it. If anything, agencies are starting to realize a lot of them can't do it, and they're starting to hire little agencies like mine, we are little, to pick up the slack for them, because that's what we were doing. I created pages and I created accounts on fake brands to learn Facebook ads and to learn community management, because now suddenly you have courses in social media and community management and things, and someone said to me, no, I went and I'm going to go to this course, and it's going to be training for community management and social media, and fine. And I understand you're going to be learning 5 years worth of knowledge in 3 months. I get it. If you have the money, sure, maybe go and give it a try. But everything my agency does is based on 8 years worth of work.